Hey peeps, what's going on? I'm Ryan White, this is High Point Music. Today's tutorial we're going to be looking at Stolen Dance by Milky. Now this is going to be a really good one for you people looking to develop a bit of a finger picking game with some open chords. But with all that said and done, let's jump into today's lesson. Okay peeps, let's set the table. To get started, we need to make sure our capo is on the 4th fret for this one. And outside of that, we're just using open chords: E minor, D, C major, G, and B7. So before we start breaking this one down, let's demo the parts. 3, 4. Alright, cool. So with our E minor, first and foremost people, I like to put my thumb on the E string here, first finger on the D, second on the G, third on the B, fourth on the E, like that. Okay, so that's how our finger picking. And then with our finger picking pattern, we're going to look at a basic way to start off with. We're just going to go 1 in the bass. So 1 and 2 and. So 1 in the bass, and we're hitting D, G, B, and E. 2, we're doing a percussive hit on the strings, and then the and of 2, we're coming up like that. Now that's a more simplified version of the finger picking pattern. If we go into the more complicated version, we've got 1 and da. So we've got a triplet going on there. So 1 and da, 2 and. 1 and da, 2 and. Okay, so depending how comfortable you are with your picking on the right hand, just pick which one works best for you. But once you've got that worked out, we're going to jump to our D major here. We've got our thumb on the D string, first on the G, second on the B, third on the E. And the exact same rhythm that we use in that basic formation with our right hand is 1 and 2 and. So 1 and on G, B, and E. Percussive hit on 2, and then coming up on and with the G, B, and E strings together. So let's put that together with the E minor so far. So 1 and 2 and D and 2 and. Nice and slowly. 1 and 2 and D and 2 and. Alright, once you've got that nice and comfy peeps, then we're going to jump to our C major. Again, I like to have my thumb on the A string and then first on D, G, B, and E like that. Again, if you're not comfortable with that, thumb on the A and then drop your first finger from the G, second on the B, third on the E. Okay, so here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the full bar here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Once you've got that nice and comfortable, then we go to our G major, which we have our chord shape like this. And then in the right hand, we've got thumb on top, first finger on the D, second on the G, third on the B, fourth on the E. Again, if you're not comfortable doing that, drop your first, second, and third down a string. And then we're separating 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Exactly the same way, exactly the same rhythm that we were using on our C major. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's combine that with our C major. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. To G, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so for the next part of this chord progression, we've got a B7 in our left hand diagrams flashing up on the screen. And in the right hand, we have our thumb on the A string, first finger on the D, second on the G, third on the B, fourth on the E. Again, if you're not comfortable with this, just drop your first, second, and third fingers down into that position like that. Okay, same exact picking pattern and rhythm that we've used for the previous 2 chords. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so now we're at the point where we need to put that first chord progression all together. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and G and 2 and 3 and 4 and B, 7, 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. the only thing you need to keep an eye out for with this chord progression is when we get to the end of the first verse, once you've got that to the point where you can play along with the track, you'll notice that before he goes into the chorus, the guitar player is just vamping out on that B7. Okay, so just looping up the B7, just like I played there, 4 bars I believe in total, but you should be able to feel that one with the track once you get that first chord progression all together and under your fingers. Okay, part number 2, people. So this one is going to be very, very simple for you people to learn, because what it is just a different variation on the initial chord progression. Let's jump in and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay people, so what we have above is the verse chord progression laid out for us, and then down here on the second line is the chorus chord progression. So what I wanted to point out is if we come in and have a look at the verse chord progression, but we just start it from bar number 2. We've got C major here, G major in bar 3, B7, and then followed by E minor, D major. Because effectively if we just start the verse chord progression from bar number 2, that's exactly what we have down here. So we have C major, bar 1, which you can see up in bar 2 here, the G major, bar 2 here, which is just bar 3, B7, which is bar 3 of the chorus progression, bar 4, and then bar 4 of the chorus progression, E minor, D major here. So they've effectively just displaced the chord progression and started it from bar number 2 of the verse progression. Cool, so with that being outlined, let's jump in and do a quick playthrough to show you how that sounds. So starting on the C, so 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and G and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and E minor, D, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So wrapping this one up today, people, step number 1, figure out how you're going to approach everything with your finger picking and get to know the parts. Once you know the order of the parts and what's required, then we work on smooth, consistent repetitions to get that under your fingers. And then by repeating that process, you're going to be able to build this up, build up the fluency to the point where you're playing it along with the track. If you have any questions with today's video, people, drop it in the comments, request for future videos. Always love hearing from you people out there and hearing how I can contribute to things you want to learn or questions you might have with your guitar playing, practice process, anything of that nature. I'm Ryan Wyatt, this is High Point Music. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch up with you all in the next video.